all local governments are on a calendar fiscal year. Okay, so that means that you start your fiscal year January 1 and you end your fiscal year on December 31st. And there are a bunch of waypoints during that time where you are achieving budget outcomes and also doing budget planning. So some of those times your finance director or your manager will be goading you to make some decisions. And in others, it may seem like the budget is just kind of something you're checking up on a periodic basis. A budget really is the priorities that your local government has, what you are willing to do, what you have decided to do this year, and sometimes it's what you're not willing to do. And so that has become even more important in the era of tight budgets and making sure that you're communicating with your citizens, with your staff, with everybody involved in that budget process, what your priorities are with this budget document. The reason local governments do fund accounting is to identify different revenues and expenditures in their own, sometimes they're called silos, sometimes it's called color of money, because there are requirements to use that money in a certain way. For example, if you are getting money for park and recreation services, there's a big fund called Conservation Trust Fund that municipalities get. You have to use that for park and recreation services. And so you have to keep that as a fund to make sure you are using that for qualified expenditures. Two big pieces of the budget, of most any budget, are going to be your operations versus your capital expenditures. So operations are your routine things that you do on any given year. Your salaries, your maintenance, supplies, those kind of things that you're doing in each given year. Where on the other side of the coin, the capital expenditures are usually larger items, things that are going to last your local government and be an asset for your local government for a number of years to come. So you have to think about those in two different ways a lot of times on what do we need to operate, but also are we saving for our capital as well. One of the biggest suggestions that we at DOLA and we've talked with CML about is talking with your staff. They really are the professionals and know the details directly in your municipal government. We use a lot of acronyms. We do things that maybe don't seem necessarily thoughtful, but there's usually a very reasonable purpose. And so just don't ever hesitate to ask a question. The budget isn't set in stone. Once you've adopted a budget, typically in December, you can change that budget. It's not a bad thing to amend your budget from time to time. You always are going to end up coming low or high on revenue or having something come up on the expenditure side that you will need to do an amendment. So take a little comfort in the fact that amendments, they will happen, and you guys as a board will get to think that over and go ahead and adopt those things at a public meeting as well. At the Department of Local Affairs, we collect all local government budgets on an annual basis. So those are due to us by January 31st of each year. And in that role, we also do budget trainings and we try to help local governments to budget better. So never hesitate to call us if you'd like and talk to CML and some other regional partners, other towns around you, because we're always willing to answer questions where we can and help guide you towards resources that might help you answer the questions you have as a new elected official.